Hello and welcome back to my YouTube channel. I'm back with another unedited video. It's as raw as it comes, and I need to change my screen protector. But anyways, don't mind my one nose ring missing. I don't know where my other stashes are, and I lost one when I was busy cleaning today, so I only have one on. And please like, subscribe, and what do you all do here? Yeah, please like and subscribe, and then just watch the video until the end. It's another one where I talk about my childhood and my experiences. So the other day, me and one of my friends were having a conversation about, I don't know, but she shed a light on me, right? I've always been the weird girl. I've always been the weird girl. Always been the weird girl. And my friend shed light. Chances are my mother didn't know what to do with me when she was raising a child. Being the only child, she did not know what to do. She has no experience of what she was doing, and she still has no experience. But I came out as this weird child because she was saying, Uba, I'm pretty sure I stressed my mother and my grandmother probably thought Uba as nice as this is the langa mandla endlini. Not knowing that, nah man, this child is just a punk. But she was saying, Uguti, I probably stressed my parents out, my parents being my mother and my grandmother, by being a rebellious teen. Let's rather put it like that. I struggled expressing myself, but one thing I did not struggle with was always wanting to have black nails. Some things don't change. I can never seem to have any other color, and it would trouble my mother. But why does this child always have to have eyeliner, always has to have mascara on, and next thing I want piercings? I remember us having a conversation this one day, watching something on TV on Friday, and then Saturday we had to go visit Otabao. So here we are, sitting, and this girl has a nose ring on TV. Me being me, I told my mom, but I want one. She's like, no, nose rings are for people that want to enhance themselves. You don't need one. I'm John Galamfaz. And this one does not know me. I'm gonna come back with one. That time I already had my first tattoo and she did not know about it. So here I am. The following day, we're driving 2 hours. I think it's like 2 hours to my aunt's house back then when she lived in the Val. We get there, we're talking, it's all nice. My mother being my mother, she says, your child wants a nose ring. My aunt was like, if she wants one, let her get one. Because most of the things that happen in my life, my mother would go to my aunt and my aunt would validate what she says, and then it would be in or wrong. But the day my aunt said, it's fine if I get a nose ring, I'm still a child, let me get a nose ring. Is about to get better. Because what do you mean adults are agreeing with me getting a nose ring? That time I have a whole tongue ring that I have to hide when I speak. This is how I would speak. And then I call my cool in Jongapanti, when my grandmother's around in Jongapanti, and then when there's other people that require me to look at them, I have to speak very, very softly and hide it. That time I had probably the last number, the one when you talk, it just keeps on popping in and out of your mouth, in and out of your mouth. This one, no, this is short. I had like the longest one, the one that would literally just keep peeking in and out, in and out, in and out. That was me. And I was like 18. So now I'm excited, but I'm getting my first nose ring. I already got my tattoo. I wanted a belly ring. I can't remember why I didn't get a belly ring, but I wanted one. And here I am thinking about I am the coolest shit ever in my head. And then I realized, but no man, I just kept being myself, and me being myself just kept making me weird, because next thing, my mom and I are out, and so we were buying some products, and then I ended up buying black lipstick, and this woman was like, what the hell? Next thing, I've got these bracelets. I had these punk bracelets with skulls and spikes, and then I had these other spiky heels. Like everything of mine had skulls or spikes. That was me. Ndandu spiky, ndandu scully. Like Skulls, I'm there. Spikes, I'm there. Both of them, I'm the happiest girl ever. When it started, she didn't have a problem until it became like a part of me that everywhere I go to school, I've got my bracelets on, I've got kajal on, because I've never used eyeliner. I've always used kajal because I find it lasts longer. And again, at some point in me, I don't know if I traumatized her or whatever it is that I did to my mother. I had, at some point in my life, I only had Indian friends. So from school, in break time, all my friends were Indians. So I'd come back home and I'd be telling stories about, this is what my friend did, this is what my friend did, this is what my friend did, this is what my friend, and they were all Indian. And so my group consisted of four, okay, let's just say three different religions. I had a Muslim friend, I'm Christian, and then I also had a Hindu/Tamil friend. Can't remember which one she was, but I still struggle to differentiate between Hindu and Tamil, but I had that friend. So my mother was like, what is this child getting into? Maybe that's where it all started, because that was in primary. Maybe that's where it all started. Because by the time I got to high school, I was so used to being the weird girl. I was so used to being by myself. I was so used to making things that make me happy. Because I knew, yes, I'm multilingual. And yes, I am what I am, but I'm always going to be seen as the outcast because of my accent. I'd always be called the girl that wants to be colored. Never had to explain myself. I still don't want to explain myself. But those that became my friends knew what was going on in my life and they accepted me for who I am. But I was always bullied for always hanging out with the Indians, always hanging out with the coloreds, always dressing weird. I don't know if weird in Doni, but nah, I've always been a lover of black. I'd pop some color, a blue and a purple. That was it. Always been that girl that had those spikes, always had mascara. My eyes were always dark. At some point, I remember my lips would always have color, and the teacher started complaining about why your lips always red at school. Soon, those babenens but that was me. Red lips. Somehow I found a labello that would start, the more you use it, the darker your lips would be. So my beginning of the day, my lips would clear. By 12, I started having pink lips. Now they're starting to look pink. By the end of the day, half-past 2, it's now red. And also, one thing about me, I have never in my life, even today, dihlale with dry, chapped, cracky lips. Asoze ndihlale with dry lips. It has never been me. I was that girl that would have, in the pocket of my shirts, there would be a mirror and a labello. That was me. I hadn't discovered lip gloss, but labello did what it needed to do. My lips were never dry. And it was that glossy labello that after 2-3 uses, it starts looking like it's gloss. It's not gloss, but it's glossy. So that's what I use. So now my friends are saying, but nah, I scared my mom. My mom probably didn't know what to do with me. That's why my mom treated me the way she treated me. And I'm like, guys, so shame. A bit traumatized because Umdana didn't know how to express herself. I don't know that. Also, another thing that would have put me out to be the weird child was that I never listened to music that everybody else listened to. I was listening to Nickelback. I was listening to all the white music. I was behaving like a white child that went to a multiracial school with white people. While I don't even know white people in my life. Like, when it's time to do things, when people are saying, let's do this, I'm like, I don't want to do that. Let's listen to this music. And I'm like, no, I want to listen to Eminem. But that guy is so weird. Why listen to this weird white guy? I want to listen to Eminem. Let's go do this. And I'm like, I don't want to. There's wrestling playing. WrestleMania is playing at 2. WrestleMania. Because what do you mean there's something better than WrestleMania? Yeah, it was that wrestling girl, that die-hard wrestling girl. Like, I was a die-hard wrestling fan. Yo, Sana. There was nothing I didn't know. All the news that happened, Bendia Zuba, Wednesday, was it 8:30 or 9 o'clock on ETV? I can't remember. On Wednesday, it was SmackDown. On Saturday, it was ECW. And on Sunday, it was Raw. And I knew if there's any main event that happens, it happens on Sunday at 1. So bendiyazi uba ishedule yami ime njani. Once a month ngo-1, give me the remote, I'll sit and I'll watch wrestling by myself and I'll be the happiest girl. While people are watching Isikim Sami, I'm thinking, why are we not watching Siva Dalan? Don't ask me why I've been jogging Siva Dalan, but I'd be wanting to watch Siva Dalan when people are watching Isikim. No, there wasn't Isikim Sam. What was he playing at that time? Rhythm City. It was Rhythm City Nestingo. But I've always been that weird girl. And up until my friend mentioned maybe into my mom by being me. But also, I was not weird in a bad way. I'm not weird in a bad way. It's just that I express myself differently from cultural norms in the Black community. I think that will make sense. Yeah, I think it's just that different from Wonkumtelokshini and the people I grew up around, so it makes me like weird. But I'm not really weird. I'm just like anybody else, I'd like to think. And then came varsity, and then I could have any hair color I want. Sana, I mean, I could have any hair color I want. I've had all the hair colors I wanted in my life. I've had green hair, I've had purple hair, I've had orange hair, I've had white hair, I've had red hair. Every color you can think of, I'm pretty sure I've had colors where people didn't know. One person would say your hair is pink and one would say it is orange, and I'd say it's that color. Whatever you see, it's that color. I've had somebody say you've got gray hair, somebody say no, it's blue, and I'd be like, it is that color. I've had somebody say your hair color looks like rosé wine, and I'd be like, rosé then. Whatever color you see, it is that color. Because Nami, I would just walk in and decide by whatever color makes sense to me, I would grab it. I remember I had this highlight green at some point. I loved that green. And then I remember the first time I did the Springboks, I was like, I'm going to have like Springbok green hair. Because it's a milestone for me. I've had some good times in my weird state. I don't want to outgrow it. Oh, and apparently that was shocker more when I started working in Gogo and tattoos. Sana every time I get a tattoo, it's never one, it's always 3 or 4. Because I can. And that's when they just gave up on me. Now I've got tattoos, I've got piercings, lost count, everything is in its teens. And they don't even say anything. They have accepted me. My grandmother used to say, now she wants to see me. If I've got white hair or green hair or gray hair, she wants to see me with that green and red and orange happening in my hair. And my baby cousin also, the other day she comes back and I'm looking at this child. Orange, like she's got orange and white hair. I'm like, I like the comfort she has. Now, yeah, she got a septum piercing and nobody said anything. I'm quite happy, I opened doors for the young ones. My other cousin and I also got tattoos the other day and nobody's saying anything about it. Mna guys, nathandazelwa the day ndibuya ne-tattoos. Ndathandazelwa ndasuswa i-tattoo nge-cutex remover kwathiwa ngegama lenkosi usathana phume kulo mntana. Ndathandazelwa nange-tongues. And when my grandmother was done, ndaphuma ndayohleka phandle. Because what do you mean uzothandazela i-tattoo isuke? But also maybe it was because the first tattoo kokwam wayibona eyam, it was my ex-husband's name. So maybe that is why she prayed so much, because she was like, what the hell is this child doing? But also, I'm a believer of love. If love finds me again and I get married, I'm getting my man's name on my body. Because what do you mean I'm going to be your wife and I don't have your name? I'll find another place to put his name. And till death do us apart, till death, because wow.